you left.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
What up, comic fam? It's your boy Jim, and that's right, we've got another new, well, not new, it's another episode of our review of new comics from this past Wednesday, episode 189. It's crazy, 189 episodes. It's nuts. Anyway, it was a thick old week. It was a very fat week. Had a lot of books. Read most of them, I believe, on Wednesday. Sometimes I read them on Thursday. I think I read most of them on Wednesday, and then I read Marvel yesterday. So all of the books have been read, which is great, especially because we're doing a live show today. What up, Holden? So yeah, no, it was a good week. I think there were some very interesting books this week. I think you all know, if you watch New Comic Book Day last week, you know what my pick of the week is going to be. So let me just get that out of the way. We know that. We all know what that's going to be. But I will say there are some contenders. There may be multiples this week. I'll just say that because there was another book that I was like, man, that was really good. So, and it wasn't an independent. So try to figure out that one. What up, Joe? How are you? But before we get to that, let's talk about some business for the channel. First, we're gonna talk about our show's sponsor, Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is where Nate and I get our books. That is where we get all of our stuff. I mean, everything basically in this office has been gotten from Collected. Not everything, but most of the nerdy shit in my in my office is from Collected, and it's a great store. So if you're ever in the DFW area, they have 3 locations: one in Fort Worth, one in Keller, and one in Hearst. And yeah, it's a great place to get all that fun stuff. And you can get comic books, back issues, trades, omnibus, hardcovers, trading card games, D&D, Warhammer, action figures, models, cookbooks, what else? Statues, dioramas, plushies. Yes. You can get a lot of cool stuff over at Collected. So if you're ever in the area, check them out. If you're not, you can also go to their website, staycollected.com, where they have all that fun stuff and more over there as well. Also, we're on the road to 1,250 subscribers. So once we hit that sub goal, we're giving away a slab, and we have given away plenty of slabs. But we'll be giving this away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. An Uncanny X-Men 9.8 CGC grade signed by Jim Chung, the cover artist. So we'll be giving this away when we hit 1,250 subscribers. And then we have some other ones between that sub goal and 2,000. But when we hit 2,000, we're giving away this Thor #1 Nick Klein sketch variant, also signed by the late, but by the great Donny Cates, a 9.8 CGC grade. So please, if you're not already subscribed, hit that sub button, ring that bell, and give us a like. Holden asking about Nate. Nate is great. Well, Nate's not here. Nate's doing relatively fine. Like I said, he's still working at at the restaurant, and he's doing his thing. Trying to work that schedule out, but something will change soon. He'll be here sooner or later. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's just very, 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 very busy, to the point where he just doesn't have time to read comics. But he's trying. He's trying very hard to get back on the schedule with the show. And if that doesn't work out, then he may be finding a different job so he can get on the show, because he'd rather much be doing this than what he's currently doing. So, but Nate's doing fine. He's just grinding right now. Anyway, but yeah, thanks for asking. I'm glad you guys asked, because he is definitely missing the show. I talked to him last week about it, and he's just like, man, I want to get back on the show. I'm like, I agree, dude. I missed the hell out of you. I love doing the show. I mean, I love doing the show, but man, I love it so much more when I'm able to riff off of him. So yeah, he's doing as well as he can. Holden says, my pick of the week is Ultimate X-Men. But the first story in, I can't read that word, from Abyss was so good. How about you, Joe? We went to Comic-Con today and had a blast. Nice. Yeah, my pick of the week, well, we'll get to it. So let's just go ahead and just jump right into the show, jump right into the comics. First up, we have Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, issue number 4 from Gary Jerry. This run is just getting better and better as we progress in the story, and obviously that makes sense, right? Because like we're expanding the story more and more, and really diving into the characters here. This cowboy, this gunslinger, and this samurai. I think it's been really good, and we got a little bit more, like, I don't want to say cosmic, but we got into some more lore of the island, this Purgatory Island that they're on, where there are like variations of the villain, this main villain or guy who's running this like gang of survivors. We find a different version of him inside like a different dimension on the island. It's really weird. But it was an interesting issue. I liked it. I felt like we definitely built more lore for this whole, path to hell. I will say, like, through the issue, like right at the beginning, I was like, oh man, more like thickness of just chunks of paragraphs, but it moved. I was a little skeptical at the beginning, but as I read it, I was like, all right, this is a solid issue. So this is one of these books that where, like, when I first start reading, I'm like, oh man, like, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna drop it, and then by the end of it, I'm like, why would I even think that? Like, why would I ever think that I was gonna drop this book? So I liked it. I thought it was a really good issue. So yeah. Joe says his pick of the week is The Moon is Following Us by Daniel Warren Johnson. That was a solid book. I really liked that book. It was very close to being my pick of the week. Speaking of that, The Moon is Following Us, issue number 1 from Daniel Warren Johnson. This shit was dope. I like Daniel Warren Johnson is just such a craft, has such a craft for making really fun stories, especially independent ones. I mean, when he dives into like Marvel or DC, I think he does an exceptional job. But man, when he goes indie, he fucking slaps. And this was so good. This was so good. I liked the art style. It was very, I think Riley and Daniel do a really good job of kind of having, like, they definitely have the same style of art. It's messy, also fluid, but then at the same time, it still is just like beautiful. And I thought this issue was, like, just it had that. And then the story, intentionally, you don't know what the hell's going on. You're getting little snippets and flashbacks of what's happening. What I really liked about the story was the hesitancy of the father, right? They're going through and they're fighting off like goblins and monsters and stuff. And the dad is just being very hesitant in killing anything, whereas the mother, or the female, is very like nonchalantly just killing shit. It's like, I got to get to my daughter, right? We got to find our daughter. And I was like, man, what's that about? And then when you get to the end of the issue and you find out that they're like fighting, they're waiting and they're fighting through their little girl's dreams, because it looks like she's kind of like in a coma and she's like trapped in this like dream world. I kind of made the assumption, it wasn't stated, but like he's very hesitant in killing anything in this world because it appears that they're traversing through her mind. I thought that was dope. I don't know. I really like this. I think this concept is wicked awesome. What am I, from Boston? And it just like, I mean, it was up in your face at the beginning, but then as the issue like progressed, you just felt like you were getting more and more familiar with the concept. And then when they were able to like jump out of the world and you realize that they're doing this like Ready Player One Virtual Boy-esque adventure into their daughter's mind. I'm just like, dude, this shit is deep. This is so deep. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. But Joe, you said at the beginning of the story was overwhelming. I didn't know what was going on, but that ending blew my mind. Yeah, I think that's exactly how it, that's perfectly described. I think that's exactly how I took it too. I think it was a quarter away through the issue, and then I was like, okay, I'm starting to I'm getting into it. But when I think it's a risk, it's a big risk with comic book writers and artists to kind of start issues this way, where they they take a risk in hoping that the reader will at least get through the first issue. Because I know, and it makes sense, right? Like, in today's age, people's attention span they're short. They're fucking short. And so, some people, if you don't get hooked in the first couple pages, even though they've already spent the money, they're like, nah, I'm out. And that's crazy to me. But I could see someone reading this and being like, I think I'm done. I'm not gonna read the rest. And I'd be like, I'd implore you to do so. I would read it because it gets really good. And I also really, really enjoyed the artwork. I thought the artwork was fantastic. It's the same artist that did the Harley Quinn run that I really liked. I know some people were dogging that, but man, I think Riley did a great job. I think their art really spoke to Daniel Warren Johnson's writing. So I am very excited to continue. This is on my pull. It's an immediate pull for me. So I'm glad I bought it. Excuse me. Epitaph, if that helps, is the thing written on a gravestone. Oh, okay. Epitaphs. Okay. Joe, if I had the right equipment, I'd love to fill in for Nate. Gets back. What is necessary equipment you need to do a podcast? You need a mic. I mean, you could use a headphone mic if you want. A camera. Depending on the camera that you use, I have two. I have a Sony that I have a what's it called? Who does Stream Deck? Elgato, video card basically to connect the camera, so you can basically stream. Or I most recently got this DJI Pocket that literally you just plug it in via USB-C and it turns itself into a webcam, and that's what I've been using to film my shorts and videos now. I kind of there's a give and take, right? The accessibility of that is great, but I lose a little bit of the definition that my Sony has, color grading wise. I have a richer color palette on my Sony, so it's kind of a give and take, but I really like the accessibility of the DJI. And stable internet connection. And then I stream in Nate via Discord. So that's why, that's how I bring him in. And then I screen grab him into Streamlabs. So that's how we do it. So yeah, I'm learning more towards Daniel Johnson as a writer over artist. I love both, but I'd had to choose. I'd take the writer. All right. Throw you in the deep end of the pool, but Daniel Johnson is too good to leave you drowning. Yeah, 100%. This was a great issue. I was telling my dad about it when we were going to the store or to the shop about his Do a Powerbomb. And I was like, man, I think you should read it. I know you're not into wrestling. I'm barely into wrestling, and that shit is phenomenal. And then I told him about his what's it called? Damn it, I'm blanking. What's the Thor? God, what was the Thor run? It wasn't Thor. What is his name? Beta Ray Bill. His Beta Ray Bill run. Damn, man. I have been working pretty late as of late, so my brain is kind of fried. All right, let's keep on moving. The Power of Fantasy. The Power of Fantasy issue number 2. Karen Gillan's cooking here, man. It is definitely heavy, thick, right? There's a lot to process, but I'm loving the concept, and I love this idea of these beings that are just so overwhelmingly powerful, or they could literally snap their fingers and end the world, and they're in this constant excuse me, they're in this constant play of not killing each other or not blowing up the world. And it feels like we're kind of moving towards the apex of that idea where it might actually happen. And we kind of get that in this issue. We get the ramifications of issue 1. And I guess one of the characters that we're following who ended up like killing a bunch of like very official people in the US in order to not end the world because one of his other friends who is wanting to do it, wanted those demands met in order to not do it. And so we kind of got the ramifications of that. And then we get more of this idea of this group that has of these beings who have essentially formed their own little floating city that is constantly, I don't want to say knowingly, but like is constantly threatening the end or the destruction of Earth just by their existence. And the Earth, mainly the US, just not feeling very comfortable with that. Karen Gillan is definitely cooking in this book. I think if you're looking for something fun and new and you're willing to kind of dive deep into the just the lore of what Karen Gillan's building, it's going to take a while for it to really hit, but this is fun. And I wouldn't blame anybody for just going trade on this, because I think it probably will read better as a trade, because there's definitely some connections you need to make. Like there isn't like a previously, like it's just, in most comics there isn't, right? But usually you can pick up things fairly quickly. But this has been fun. Joe, I think I'm getting this, but with it having so many characters, I won't connect with them between the release of the issue, so I'm going trade, buy, and read it all at once. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea. I'm like, if every week my pools were like this, where I had 12 or 15 books, I might do that, but I don't normally have 12 to 15 books on pools, so I think I'll be okay to read it single issues. So, all right, guys, Ultra Mega issue number 5. This is my pick of the week. Like, duh.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
This thing, again, I'm a James Herron fan. Like, I'll stand him. Like, this was so much fun. There definitely was some hoops to jump through, and I am an apologist, right? I'm an Ultra Mega apologist, so I'm not going to for fantasy, Joe. Yes and no. It's it kind of jumps in between times, like timeline, or not timelines, time periods. Seeing things in the past between the 60s and 70s, and then jumping into the present day for future or fantasy power. But I will tell you, it's not, when you're in certain time periods, if that makes any sense. Like, you're not reading going like, wait, where am I? Like, when there's a jump, when they're telling something in the past or in the future. So, but as for Ultra Mega, you definitely need to have read the first 4 issues. There is no apologies for that. If you don't remember what happened, you were going to be lost in picking up this issue. So reading the trade beforehand probably would benefit you. It would benefit you greatly to do so. But if you're into giant kaijus and karate and fucking horror, or not horror, but like grotesque action, this is the book for you. And like, this was definitely a setup issue, but it didn't necessarily, it was unapologetic in saying, if you haven't read this is a direct connection, almost like it came out last month, right? There is no previously, there is no catch up. It's just like straight into the story. So if you don't remember what happened, yeah, go read the trade, or read your previous issues. Because if you don't do that, you will be incredibly lost. And I don't apologize for that. This was a great book. I think James Herron is just on another level when it comes to artwork, and I'm so fucking excited that he's going to be on Transformers. Like, the fact that he's going to be on Transformers, I'm so stoked for that. But what we get in this is like kind of in ramping into the issue and just kind of keep on going. There are little seeds of previously in the past 4 issues, but then there's a ton of new concepts that we're establishing for this new arc. Mainly that these Ultra Mega guys, it would appear that not all of them are good. Mainly we see, we jump a couple planets outside of Earth, right? And one of them, what's the art like in the book? Like the cover, like the cover artwork is his art. We jump to a planet that it would appear is where the Ultra Megas are from, right? And they're fighting the kaiju. But then we get introduced to another planet where it's only Ultra Megas, in the sense that they're big and they look corrupted. They look like bad guys. And then we get our Earth and kind of an update to what happened on Earth with our new Ultra Mega, the son of the father who died in the previous arc. So there was a lot going on, but I'm just glad it's back, right? And this may be a very biased, unfair review because I'm such a fan of the story, but I enjoyed the hell out of it, and to the point where, like, I went back and read, obviously, the first 4 issues. I went and read all the solicitations for the most recent releases that are coming out, just to, like, really grasp what's going on. I watched a couple reviews just to see where everybody else's heads were at, but man, I was just enjoying the shit out of it. So I'm not gonna say go out and get it. If anything that I said in the sense of, like, the themes in the book intrigue you, then I definitely say go get it. But if you're not interested in any of those things, then don't. But this was so good. It's just weird. It's science fiction-y. It's weird. It's anime-esque. It's badass. I love it. It's so good. Let's see. The spice around the coloring. I think the art on Transformers will be fine. You hear issue 24 due to his last issue of Transformers. I did not hear that, and that's very sad if that's the case. Oof. They better bring in someone cool, or I might be out. Unless it's James. If it's James Herron, then all right. You know what I mean? Anyway, Ultra Mega, my my pick of the week. Loved this issue. It was super fun. And I know we're probably only going to get 4 issues, or maybe only 3. I don't know, but I'm so here for it. I will wait years for this book to come out. It's so good. It's so much fun. All right, jumping over to DC, we have Absolute Power Super Sun issue number 1. This was fine. It was outside of the my throat is super dry. Oh, Bleeding Cool broke the news. Great. This was what I found intriguing with this book was John and his relationship with Dreamer and his relationship with, is it Jay? I can't remember his name. Yeah, Jay. That to me was the most interesting part of this book. The whole, like, Absolute Power Tan part of it, I'm not in it. I don't, it's not intriguing to me. Just kind of reliving, his being taken over by the Brainiac Queen. But the dynamics, the relationships coinciding with all that, I thought was intriguing. So in that aspect, I really liked the issue. I'm just ready for Absolute Power to be over so that we can get into, like, the new reset, and I can start, because I've seen some of the artwork for the new books, the multiverse books, and I'm like, yo, that looks like fun. Like, I want to check that out. So I'm just ready to, like, move forward, get past this crap, and just, even though they say it's not a reset, get to the reset, because we all know it's going to be a reset. Like, it's happening. So overall, the absolute power of the book, not so intriguing. The relationships of John and just kind of this hopeful note at the end saying, like, we might get more John. I'm about it. Like, I want John. Like, I need more John comics. The fact that he doesn't have an ongoing right now, I think, is incredibly disrespectful. Just saying. All right, World's Finest issue 31. New artist. I enjoyed. The story, again, like, I know World's Finest is rooted in kind of retconning and going back to storylines deep within the lore of DC Comics. So like the significance of this villain Eclipso to me is completely like, it doesn't land on me. I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying I don't know who this is. So when this person pops up and they're fucking kicking ass, I'm like, oh, so like this guy's OP. Like I had no point of reference. So by no means am I saying I'm jumping off a World's Finest. I'm not saying that, but I just didn't understand the significance of this villain. I just know that he's apparently incredibly OP, and he can take out the Justice League pretty easily. So that's it for me on this issue. Empire says, Absolute Power Super Son was my pick of the week, but I'm biased for any John Kent content. Again, like, I'm right there with you, Empire. Like, outside of the Absolute Power stuff and, like, John-focused material and his relationships and just him being a superhero, loved it. Absolute Power, not so much. I think Jay's reaction was pretty normal, and most of us would think the same in his position. Yeah, it was very interesting. Like, when... Like, there was a part of me that was split, because I was like, I guess I just haven't been paying attention, or I didn't pick it up enough books, but I didn't realize that John and Dreamer were a thing. And, like, when I started reading it, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is kind of neat. But then as you're reading it, you're like, wait a minute, what about Jay? You know, what's going on with Jay? So I just... that slice of life detail for me is something that really does it for me in my reading. It really intrigues me. So like when someone pulls that off, I love it. So I liked it outside of the theming of Absolute Power. Just as I picked it up and wasn't too impressed. I know Jay not caring got a lot of heat in the internet, but I can't say I blame him. His mom died and the pain hurts. Yeah, 100%. I jumped off of World's Finest, so my excitement can gain some momentum for Unlimited Justice League. Unlimited Justice League. I feel like I heard about that, and then I just like skipped over that. Is that brain fart? Is that a new book coming out? Or has it been out? Sorry, I'm like behind. Anyway, World's Finest was fine. Like, I'm not, like, I know we're retconning things so that we can talk about it later in some other book, right? All right, jumping over to Marvel, we have The Avengers, issue number 18. If I had another pick of the week, well, I do have another pick of the week. New Justice League book, got it. I do have another pick of the week. This is my show, right? And this would be my other pick of the week.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
I don't know if it's because I was so invested in Heroes Reborn, and so like revisiting Hyperion, I thought was kind of cheesy but cool at the same time, and this really put it all to a different level, right? In Heroes Reborn, the group with Hyperion, they were kind of just like taken out, and we didn't really hear anything about them. And like the fact that McKay was able to give Hyperion such emotion in 2 issues, mainly like 1.5 issues, I think should be applauded. You kind of feel for him. He's coming to like basically become a living bullet and destroy Earth because he feels like his existence means nothing, which technically it doesn't, right? The reality that was built for him in Heroes Reborn was completely destroyed after Mephisto lost, during Avengers for Jason Aaron. So like he has nothing to live for. And the reaction of the Avengers was like, oh, let's just fucking kill him. Like we can't stop him, so let's just kill him. You're like, damn, right? And they go through this entire plan when like Vision's over here like backseating a secondary plan, like the actual plan. And the plan is to basically warp him to another reality where there are no heroes and he can be the hero. And they thus saving his life. I thought that was so fucking sick. I thought that was so cool. And then to gradually sunset Thor off of the Avengers team and put Storm in, I thought was done masterfully. I liked it. I thought the writing was good. I was actually quite shocked to see how they were going to deal with Hyperion at the beginning, which was like, let's kill him with like vibranium shrapnel. Like, damn, son. But the way that McKay turned it around and repurposed Hyperion to be a hero in another universe, another multiverse that doesn't have any heroes, that's pretty fucking cool. Like, I thought that was really neat. Just I was shocked seeing them fix this mega issue so fast, but it made sense. I think this mini story could have been told through a one-shot annual. Yeah, I guess, but I liked it. I thought it was fun. And Thor leaving sucks, but again, made sense because the playing with Immortal Thor. Yeah, like, and I think that plays to like what we've been talking about. What up, John? What I've been talking about, like having these characters be in multiple books and it not really making much sense. If you're in one book, don't be in the other. So anyway, John coming in with the super chat. This issue of Avengers is my favorite issue of the whole run. I agree with you, and that's why it's my other pick of the week. It's my Marvel pick of the week, or my second pick of the week. Ultra Mega was my first pick of the week. But this was so good. I loved it. I thought it was great, and I thought the art was really good too. It was a solid issue. Especially coming off of what's it called? Blood Hunt. You know, usually like there's this sense of like cooldown after a massive event for a writer, and I feel like we were just pedal to the metal, and it felt like it made sense, in my opinion. All right, Dazzler issue number 1. I thought this was a silly goose time, super fun. The parallels with her in real life situations that another singer currently does when trying to get on stage, I thought was pretty funny. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. I'm gonna continue to read it. I don't know if it gets past the first arc, but I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Silly goose time. Not a lot of weight to it. To see Dazzler do her thing and also kind of adapt and kind of be this multifaceted hero, I thought was really cool. And I love that she's got, you know, other mutants, other X-Men part of her crew, part of her roadie crew setting up the show, but also having like Domino be part of her security detail. Like, that's just sick. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was fun, and yeah, I'm down. I'll at least read the first arc for sure. John coming back in about the Avengers. The Avengers, Joe, I'm sorry, coming in back with the Avengers, trying to kill Hyperion so quickly plays well coming off of the Blood Hunt event, and that burden lays heavy on the team. Yeah, like I get it, but like, I love that Vision had the foresight to say, nah, fam, like, I know I'm helping you do this, but really we're going to do this. And he teamed up with the city. I thought that was really neat. Dazzler was fun, but I hate the look of Domino. I bought 2 covers. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was like, whoa, interesting choice, but whatever. I like it. I'm gonna stay on it for at least an arc for sure. Incredible Hulk issue 17. I feel like we got back to what we've been trying to do. I've told you guys before, whenever we do these history lesson issues, I'm not about it, but this was fun. The suspense of it, you know, is Jaden, what up, bro? No, dude, don't ever apologize. Don't ever apologize. You know, obviously with Nick Klein on the art, it feels better. This whole suspense of like, did Bruce renounce the Hulk to this demon mother, first demon thing? Like, who knows? But I feel like, you know, the problem is we get these issues and they feel so good and they read so well and it progresses the story, and like 3 issues later or 2 issues later, we're back to doing a history lesson so that we can explain 1 page or 1 panel in the next comic, or 3 comics later. Like, that's one thing for me where I'm just like, please, no more history lessons. I get it. Yeah, Hulk was fun. I'm worried about my boy Hulk. Yeah, like it. I mean, are we killing off Hulk? No, we're not killing off Hulk, right? Maybe he rides off into the sunset for a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I liked it. I thought this issue was good, and I think Obviously, it's a major improvement because you've got Nick Klein on the artwork, and you're not doing a history lesson issue. We're just doing the story that we've been here for, which is like Hulk fighting monsters and demons. About it. 100% about it. So, is what it is. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. All right, jumping over to Ultimate X-Men issue number 7. Nah, don't talk like that. It's too quick and vague. I mean, well, I think the reason why, let's jump back over to it then. I think the reason why it feels too quick and vague is because we wasted 2 issues with the history lesson. I would much rather have there be more dialogue and fist flying between Hulk and this like demon mother, and the internal dialogue between Bruce and Hulk, and him potentially renouncing him so they can save the girl. Like, give us more of that, in my opinion, because like, I don't know. I just don't feel like here we go. I don't know what the annual was like, but that backup history thing could have been the annual, right? But I think we need the history lesson, but wish it was a back. Okay, or do it like that, a backup story, because it just feels like we're too disconnected, right? Because all right, I'm honing in on this history lesson. Oh, we're back over here. Like, come on, And when she got turned into the statue, it just dropped because we were moving into like an explanation of these dark forces and this BC version of Hulk, and he fought it already. Like, okay, like I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head, Joe. Make it a backup. Make it a backup, and if someone wants to read it, great. If they don't, then fine. And don't charge us extra money for it either. I'm asking too much. That was uncalled for. I need to make us fear the Hulk. Feel like the Hulk is in trouble to raise the stakes. He definitely is, and it's not because of the mother, right? It's because of Bruce. It's because of Banner. He's up to it again, man. Like, you be naive and stupid to say like, I don't know how he's gonna make it out of it. Like, they're gonna make it out of it, but still, like, the end of this issue made me feel incredibly uneasy for Hulk. Like, oh fuck. He ain't gonna make it. All right, over to Ultimate X-Men issue number 7. Peach is still doing her thing. She's making her own characters. She's doing her own lore. And if you can't get over the non-traditionalness of X-Men in this issue or in this book, then this ain't for you. And I say it every week. I will say the pacing does feel a little floaty, especially when I'm reading manga. And then I'm reading this, and I guess you have to like look at it from a content perspective for Peach, like, or formatting, I guess is the better way to say it. She's having to do, she's only given so many issues to tell her story, whereas with manga, you get a chapter every week, and I mean, you've got these massive collections of a story, and so you have time to flesh things out, and it's just like go with this. Like, the pacing on this is way quicker. Joe says, "Will you think Charlie will take the Hulk?" Possibly. Like this might be where we get a new Hulk. Just saying. It's possible. As for this, I'm still enjoying it. I definitely like I like her take on Psylocke. I like that we're still building this new coalition of mutants in Japan. I think it's really cool. But I don't really have much to say out of that. Like, it's the same things that I always say. Like, if you're not into a non-traditional version of the X-Men to like turn to 11, then this ain't the book for you, because you're not gonna find anything familiar outside of like small gestures artistically towards the original mutants in X-Men. So I unapologetically adore Ultimate X-Men. It's so different. It has more layers than people give it credit. 100%. Like, I know there are people that are hating on this book, and it's just not for you, so don't read it. Don't even talk about it. But I'm liking it. Like, I still need to go get the second half of Demon Days in Treasury Collection, and when this comes out in Treasury, I'm picking it up too. Like, it's just too good to pass up on. So yeah. I gave up on putting on any pressure on this book and just enjoying the art and the uniqueness of the story 100%. I can hear the internet go nuts if the girls take Hulk from Banner and it's a big Hulk. As a big Hulk and Banner fan, I'll be hurt, but not for bad reasons. Yeah. Well, I don't think... I'm not gonna say it's necessary, but like, let's do some new things, right? Let's do some new things, because we know Hulk will always come back. There's no way they're just gonna kill off that character. Like, well, he'll be back. But to see some new things, and then if it doesn't work, then just go back to what you know well, what you know how to do well, you know. So, anyway, I like this one. I like the team being built slowly, and like you can see it coming. Like you can just see it on the horizon, especially with like I think issue 8's cover. Kind of gives us like an idea of where we're going and like the assembly of the team. Let me pull it up here just to make sure I'm not like talking out of my ass. Yeah, so like issue 8 kind of gives a vibe of like we might actually get an issue where like the mutants that she's been gathering may actually turn into a team. Right? Like hell yeah. I also like that that Momoko is she's making like the Children of the Atom kind of this like villain, this kind of cult of personalities. I think that's really cool. So anyway, yeah. Yes, you have to take your time with this book. Yeah. I mean, you can't flash read it. Some books you can, some books you can't. And if you're not in that mood, sometimes it doesn't work. But just the key to success is always being in the mood. Clip it. I think the Children of the Atom aspect is interesting. Yeah, it's just different. It's weird. I like it. All right, jumping over to our last book of the night, and that is X-Men issue number 4 with a new artist. Cyclops still looks weird. He's still being drawn really weird, but knowing that we are getting ready to have this little mini event between Uncanny X-Men and X-Men has got me super stoked. And this issue was fine. You know, again, it's kind of basic, still kind of, you know, kind of playing the same old notes that mutants are dangerous and not of this world and they're different and get rid of them. That's always going to be X-Men, right? But the over the cell phone chess match between Magic and Colossus, bro, that was so cool. And to see the X-Men team still trying to like formulate an identity, you know, because obviously like Scott has done that already, but you can see that the team may not necessarily be all in on that concept, at least some of them. So yeah, Joe, yeah, I don't miss Stegman, but when this specific artist drew Cyclops, that ain't it. Everything else I thought was fine. I thought there were times where he kind of almost felt like Stegman's artwork, and then there were times where he didn't. But how he, for some reason, I don't know if it's the design, the outfit design of Cyclops that's making artists not be able to draw him well, but something's weird. Maybe it's because Cyclops looks too young, or it's just such a different look for him that like it just doesn't work. I don't know, but something was off with Cyclops, and I'm sure it was the meh mouth or the meh mouth. Overall, issue was fine, but now that we're building towards a mini event, I don't care how weird these issues get. I will say this mystery that Stegman is building with these humans who are gaining mutant powers well past when they should have manifested has me incredibly intrigued. I am very excited and want to know more about that storyline. I will say that. Like, I think that's really fucking cool. I think that's badass. And it's got me, like, and the fact that it's flowing, obviously, through everything else, hell yeah. I loved it when Magic, Boss Beast, yeah. She deserves to be the captain of the X-Men, not Cyclops. I don't know if, and I'm a Cyclops fan. And I'm kind of wondering why he's in this book. The fact that I said that and Nate's not here, nobody tell Nate that I said that. Okay, don't go on to socials. Don't do anything. Don't tell me about that. Anyway, she was fine, but the building of this concept of humans manifesting mutant powers, and we don't know why and why they're manifesting them so late. Are they being forced, or is there obviously I think there's something up, but yeah, I'm digging the hell out of that. I'm liking that, but there are certain aspects of the book that are still kind of like meh to me, and I'm sure they'll iron out as we go. And I think the biggest meh for me right now is Cyclops, and it's weird to say because I'm a Cyclops fan. So I don't know. Mutant Civil War is going to be fun. Magic saying that Rogue's team are cowards or something gave us the heat between both teams. Came in late today. Did you guys discuss Agatha all along? I haven't watched that yet, John. Funny enough, my wife was like, "Are we gonna watch this?" I'm like, "Who are you?" I need to watch it. I've seen clips on TikTok, and I'm like, "Shit, I need to watch it." I mean, without spoiling it, what are your all's thoughts on Agatha? Discuss while I close out the show. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this week's new. I keep on saying new comic book. This live show for 189 issue or episode 189 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. Thanks again for everyone for asking about Nate. I will make sure to let him know that everyone's asking about him. Make sure he's okay, and hopefully he'll be here soon. If not, we'll carry on. But he will be back at some point, whether back on Sunday shows or back permanently when we're doing something else different because he got a different job. But he'll be back. Next week, let's see next week. Let's see what I have. I think next week is a mid-size week, not mid like in mid, but mid as in mid-size. 9 comics. Yeah. Heavy mutant week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mutant books. 1 DC book. No Independence. Nope, sorry. Rephrase that. I've got the Frankenstein book. All right. Yeah. It's an okay week. There is an Uncanny X-Men, so that's dope. I am excited for that. And the Wolverine Revenge Elseworld story. So that'll be fun. But we'll talk about more of that on New Comic Book Day on Tuesday. But thanks again. Let's get to chat here really quick before we close out the show. I can't believe High Elevation might be involved. Woo, really? It's kind of weird in my opinion. I thought it was fun and solid. How that new manga book, Tank Share, I have not read it yet, but I flipped through it and it looks absolutely nuts. Like hopefully I should have it read by the time next week's show pulls around. I think Agatha was a slow build, but I am a bitch for Audrey Plaza. Same John, I always love her performance. What all in DC books are you jumping on next month? So I don't even know which ones are coming out, but I'm sure I'll probably jumping on all of them just because I want to check them out. So that's going to be in October. Let's jump over there, shall we? When do they come out? So I might as well just like pop this over here so we can see and get rid of this stupid ad. So we got the all-in special, so we'll be doing that. Excuse me. Are there any more coming out that first month? I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give all of the. Oh, that looks interesting. I'm gonna give all the DC. So this is what we'll do, so that we don't miss it. So we'll go over here. I love this site. You can pick which publishers you want to see books for. So let's do that. All right. So we've got all in special. We got Absolute Power here. And that's it. So 1. We'll be doing Absolute Batman. That looks interesting. That's it there. Slow news. Not doing that. Well, I mean, no, I haven't even been doing that. I'm sure y'all are going crazy over here, and I'm not even looking. Absolute. I will be. Oh, wait. That's a foil. What is that? But, look, I'll be doing I'll be doing them. I'll at least give them an arc. I'll do the Wonder Woman. But I don't know. Again, I'll just have to see. I'm not doing this stuff. The medieval shit. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I'm sure some people will love it, but that's just not my cup of tea. I don't care about it because all of them are like almost Batman related. Maybe this one because it's Green Lantern. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. The question about Batgirl and JSA might be good books. New Gods from Ram V. Okay. Avengers Annual with Thanos is my #1 next week because it's Thanos. Let me know how that goes, John. I will definitely want to hear about how you feel about that book. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for this week's episode 189, and I will catch you guys this Tuesday, and then we'll be back again probably Saturday. I like Saturdays. I don't know about y'all. I'm kind of digging Saturdays until Nate gets back. But we'll just keep moving along until Nate gets back on the train. As always, fam, be kind to one another, and as always, read more comics. Catch you guys later. Bye.